What is going on, everybody, and welcome to a Christmas special of the Huddle Within podcast. Merry Christmas to everyone that is listening. This will probably come out Christmas Eve, but a nice little Christmas special for you guys. I'm wearing my ugly Homer Christmas sweater for those that are on the video today, and I am also going to be obviously talking about all the latest sporting news, but also previewing the games that are coming up. And if you know anything about Christmas, we obviously celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ. We celebrate the opportunity to be with our families, open gifts, whether you're in the snow around the world or whether you're in Australia on the hot summer that we have. Well, not Melbourne, but everywhere else. We're all celebrating that moment, but there is a lot of sports. Obviously, Christmas, that's probably not the most important thing, sports, but there is a shit ton of sports, especially Boxing Day, lots of stuff for Australians that have the Boxing Day matches, and then they're on Christmas Day in America or in UK. But yeah, lots to get through. It's a fun week. Once all the festivities are done, especially on Boxing Day, you get to sit down and watch as many sports as possible, which is probably the most exciting thing. And yeah, really keen to address those for you guys, and also go through what's happened this week in the sporting world too. And we got to start on a sour note, and that is that Lachie Neal has been caught basically banging his missus' best mate, which is quite shocking. Pretty fucked up, if I'm honest. Captain of the footy club, two-time Brownlow medalist, back-to-back premiership player. Had a family as well. I'm pretty sure his wife and him had some kids as well, and even his wife's best friend had a kid too. So it's quite fucked up, the situation. And yeah, I think there's a real big issue with footy players thinking that they're on top of the world, that can cheat on everyone. And he's just I think lost his reputation big time, because he was someone that was well liked across a lot of people, but now he's a cheater. So don't really think he's going to be getting much love, especially from opposition fans, but from anyone, to be general. And you got to feel for the kid. You got to feel for his ex-wife. I don't know if they've officially filed for a divorce, but I'm sure that will happen. Got to feel for her and her family and the stuff that now she needs to go through. Even when it gets surfaced online, all the comments on what people are saying and how they're reacting, she doesn't have a chance to really process this, which is quite sad. And as for the girlfriend's, well, the best friend that was cheated on, shame on you as well, I guess, for doing that, because you did that behind your best friend's back, which is crazy. You wouldn't imagine your best friend doing that. And I don't know how long they've been cheating with each other for, but every time I see a close friend or a family member, you're talking back at the Ryan Giggs situation, it kind of irks me as well, because of the loyalties lost there, and the fact that she's got a husband too. She also has a kid, ruining her life and her family's life for a footballer. It goes both ways. Don't get me wrong. It's just, I'm looking at both sides. I think both of them are done grave mistakes. And I was looking through Instagram, seeing obviously all the photos and stuff, and yeah, she really did upload a lot of stuff with Lachie Neal and her best friends. Yeah, it would have come as a surprise to anyone, but that's been the biggest news coming out of the AFL. And yeah, I don't know what's going to happen going forward for Lachie Neal in terms of his footy career, but I'm sure this is going to a very big stain on his legacy, I think, because yeah, not good at all. Just wanted to take a moment to thank you guys for tuning into another episode of the Huddle Within podcast. If you do enjoy episodes like this, or this episode specifically, be sure to leave a comment and a 5-star review wherever you do get your podcasts. It'd be also great if you could like and subscribe wherever you do get your podcasts, so we can continue to show this out to people that see sports exactly the way that you do. But without further ado, let's get straight back into it. But we'll move on to some good news and some better news, and that is the Aussies retaining the Ashes officially. 3-0 currently, with 2 games to go. We'll obviously talk about Boxing Day when we get there, but Australia get the victory. We had a batting masterclass from Alex Carey, another batting masterclass from Travis Head. He just seems to own the Adelaide Oval. And despite Steve Smith injured, despite Mitchell Starc just tired and having bowling warnings where we had to use Green, we had to use Labuschagne and Travis Head, despite a lot of Pat Cummins not being able to bowl at the end and just ins and outs to the team, we still managed to get it done 3-0. And that goes to show how terrible England are at the moment, because there is no way that Australia should be winning 3-0 in this series. It's not like the whole team's been doing amazing. It's been a few individuals that have just been performing really well. I'm talking Carey, I'm talking Travis Head, I'm talking Mitch Stark, and from a fielding possession, you got to give Marnus Labuschagne a lot of credit. 4 catches from sleeps. Unbelievable display as well. So just some small performances all around. We've had players that are out of form, Inglis and Cameron Green, and not been playing well, but still getting the dub. It's important. And we look towards Boxing Day, which I managed to secure a ticket for day 2. So really excited to go there and watch a test that probably is not going to mean much, because if England were to win the 3rd test, it would have been a very interesting game. We could have potentially won it 3-1, but it didn't happen. And you know what? To be fair play to England. Their tail end actually batted really well towards the end, but it's really hard to get that many runs with that many wickets left. But they ended up only losing by 90 or so runs there. So a solid play for them, considering they haven't been in the best of form. I do very much think that the Boxing Day test will be still exciting nevertheless. But again, there's not much stakes to it, as Australia has officially retained the Ashes. We have retained the asset. The asset is the Ashes. We've retained it, which is the most important thing. And again, exciting times ahead for Boxing Day for me. Get to watch that and see how we go in what will be a very good spectacle, I think. And, you know, it's always good to go to the Ashes. I mentioned at the G, few drinks, all-day event. Can't go wrong. And cricket's been great this year. It's been watched a lot. I think it's the most viewed Ashes ever. So that's awesome. And some of cricket's great. There's still a lot of cricket to be played. We've got BBL at the moment going on. We've also got a few of the ODIs and 2020s coming up next year as well. So after this Boxing Day and then after the pink test, I'm hoping Australia can still get a whitewash of 5-0. I will be really good. But yeah, it's an Ashes retain for Australia and just continue to dominate the cricket scene, which is always great to see. But yeah, bring on Boxing Day. That's going to be really exciting. And that's on the long list of sports you need to watch, because what else is coming up is the NBA. The NBA Christmas Day is always the funnest time of the year. Having Christmas games, you have the big schedules and the big moments, and it starts off at 4 a.m. Australian time. If you're keen for that, it is a daytime for people in America, but it is the Knicks taking on the Cavs at Madison Square Garden. I do expect the Knicks to get the victory there in that one. We also have the Thunder and the Spurs, so a nice little rematch of the NBA Cup semi-final. It's at Thunder's ground, so I do expect the Thunder to win this one. The Warriors will take on the Mavericks as well. I'm going to go for the Mavericks on this. I reckon we're seeing a Cooper Flag special coming up. The Lakers and Rockets. Give me the Rockets. I think the Rockets can take this one down. It is at Staples, but I'm backing the Rockets here. And then finally, to cap it off, is the Nuggets and the Timberwolves. I'd get the Nuggets beating the Timberwolves here, despite the Timberwolves doing really good as of late. They also take down the Oklahoma City Thunder. We had Chris Finch getting ejected and crashing out on the bench, but I think it really motivated the team and gave them some spirits moving forward. So, yeah, all credit to them. The Spurs are also in great form. So this Christmas game is going to be really fun, because it's the 2nd and 1st seed. If things do change by tomorrow, which I suspect they probably won't, the Spurs will be taking on the Thunder. And they've won 6 in a row. Yes, they lost the NBA Cup to the New York Knicks. Congratulations to them. We'll do a quick segment on them and how they did well with Tyler Kolek, Mitch Robertson, and Jordan Clarkson carrying the victory. Who would have thought that actually playing your bench and trusting your bench could get you victories? I think Tom Thibodeau could have learned a lesson from that for sure. But yeah, the Knicks take on the Spurs and beat them. But if you take that away, again, congratulations to the Knicks for winning the NBA regular season award for the NBA Cup. The Spurs are 6-0 when it counts their regular season performance. They're sitting at 21-7. So they still have a chance to beat OKC, but I just don't really see it happening. But again, this is going to be happening during the whole day, which is really exciting. So once you have cricket on the background, if you're getting checked out, you can jump onto NBA and watch that. Just wanted to take a moment to thank you guys for tuning into another episode of the Huddle Within podcast. If you do enjoy episodes like this, or this episode specifically, be sure to leave a comment and a 5-star review wherever you do get your podcasts. It'd be also great if you could like and subscribe wherever you do get your podcasts, so we can continue to show this out to people that see sports exactly the way that you do. But without further ado, let's get straight back into it. But to be honest, I think I'm more keen for the NFL games. And for the first time in a while, they're actually cross-checking with NBA. We've got the Commanders and Cowboys, the Vikings and the Lions, and the Chiefs and the Broncos. I'm excited. And mainly the reason why I'm excited is because I actually am in the NFL fantasy finals. And I'm nervous because I've got Kenny. Shout out to Kenny. His team's looking really good. But it starts here on Christmas Day with these matchups. So I'm going to be heavily looking at the Cowboys for sure, because I do have Brandon Aubrey as a kicker. The Vikings and Lions, I'm really looking at, obviously, Jameson Williams, him as my wideout. And the Chiefs and Broncos, I don't think I have anyone on either of those teams. I did have Dobbins and I did have Patrick Mahomes, but they've both been ruled out for injuries and will be out for the rest of the season. So, yeah, don't really know what's going to happen there. But in terms of victories, I've got the Cowboys, I've got the Lions, and I've got the Chiefs winning. I know the Chiefs are out of the playoffs, but they've got a home game on Christmas. I feel like they're going to get that one done just because it is at home. But I could be wrong because they don't really have a quarterback, and I think they are shutting their season down. But the Broncos took a big loss last week or this week to the Jaguars, who Trevor Lawrence, I mentioned last time, balling out. Again, another unbelievable performance from him. 279 yards for 3 touchdowns is just impressive. And ETN, who I've got on fantasy as well, another solid performance too. But yeah, they're just killing it at the moment, the Jaguars, and they're looking to be primed for a big playoff run if they do get there. They obviously are in the AFC South. They're leading that at the moment. And it looks like the Colts, who just lost again today, I watched that game as well, are probably going to be crashing out of the playoffs. They've lost their last 5. They've got a 44-year-old Phillip Rivers, who he's been balling for his age, considering, but he hasn't played in 5 years. They've got no quarterback. They're in big trouble. And the Texans have won their last 7. They're in top form. They had another really good win today as well, and their defense is just off the charts right now. So, yeah, I don't see the Colts getting out, but I do see the Jaguars taking it out, unless the Texans have something to say about it, which you never know. They might. They did beat the Raiders in a close game, but that was nevertheless good. But the games of the round, there was so many. We had the Seahawks and the Rams ended on a 2-point conversion to win an OT, which is awesome. Puka had a legacy game, 2 touchdowns for over 200 yards. I had him in fantasy as well. But Seahawks take out the division, and that division's really, really open. I think that's the hardest division to say who's going to get out, because the 49ers just won today, and yeah, they're in big trouble. The Rams, you'd think they wouldn't be based on their record, but currently they're sitting at 3rd, and the Seahawks have just locked in their playoff spot. So whether they take out the division or whether they take out the wildcard spot, they're definitely going to be in playoffs next season. So it's up to the 49ers and the Rams, who are both sitting at 11-4. And I don't know when they play next. I don't know if they play next, but if they were to play the last game, I don't think they will be. Where it's not. I've just had a look at it. It's 49ers and Seahawks, which is going to be big. So I can see the Rams edging this one out, but they still have a tough test next week, because they are going to be taking on, as I look for it, the Falcons at home. And Falcons are not easy. They probably want to play spoiler there. But the Panthers, because I'm going very straight to the NFC South, the Panthers get a victory against the Buccaneers, and they're in a prime position to take out the NFC South. And another team that's in the NFC South are my New Orleans Saints, who are on fire at the moment. Tyler Show is the guy. He's the guy. We have found our quarterback. I don't care at this point. We don't need to tank for picks. We have found our quarterback for the future. 308 yards, 1 touchdown. Chris Olave, best game I've seen him play in yonks. 2 touchdowns for 148 yards. I know it's against the Jets. The Jets are shit, but we put belt to ass on them. So I'm happy with that, because not only did I beat TJ in fantasy in the semifinals to get to the final, freaking Saints put belt to ass on the Jets as well, which is awesome. And you know what? If we win games, I know they don't matter, but it just shows that Tyler Shock knows how to win games. And that guy is the future, man. We've got our future quarterback player, which I'm just so excited to say, because we've got the Titans next week. I'm assuming I'm going to put belt to ass on them again, and they'll be awesome. But yeah, 3 Christmas games, headlined after then by the Falcons and Rams, and then the Bills and the Eagles too. And might I just finally talk about DJ Moore's reception at the end against the Green Bay Packers? The Bears are just flying at the moment, honestly flying. And look, I have DJ Moore in my fantasy, so I was extra happy when that happened. But what a catch, what a reception. One of the plays of the season by far. I think it was about a 50-yard or 45-yard reception for DJ Moore to catch it and ice out the game. And Caleb Williams didn't need to do that. It was balls of steel. All he had to do really was just go for a field goal and take the game out. But he decided to go for the touchdown. and it was an awesome play. And Caleb Williams in his second season is doing really good. He didn't have the best rookie season, but he's having an elite sophomore season. And the sophomore slump rumors are gone, just especially for Caleb Williams' sake, but everyone else, I think, is struggling on that front. But yeah, NFL's been awesome. Again, wish me luck for the NFL playoffs. I've got Kenny this week in the finals, making quick work of TJ, which is awesome. He won the last two, and now I have a chance to take it out and be an NFL champion. Last year, I told you I lost by less than 1 point. So hopefully that doesn't happen again. I have a chance to bounce back and potentially take out the NFL fantasy. And I'm the only Aussie in there, so wish me the best of luck there for me, please. As we enjoy this Christmas. One Christmas wish, Santa, give me a fantasy win. Give me a fantasy win, Santa, on Christmas. That would be awesome. But we'll wrap up with some Premier League stuff as well. Again, not the big Boxing Day schedule, but we do have the New Year's Eve and the midweek schedule as well. So there's going to be a lot of football coming up. I do miss the Boxing Day games, but United take on Newcastle at home. Look, we lost to Aston Villa. Well, obviously Aston Villa are in fucking top form and they're killing it, top 3 at the moment. Arsenal holding out 1-0 as they always do away from home, and Man City making quick work of West Ham. Liverpool taking on Tottenham and winning 2-1. Brighton taking on Sunderland in a 0-0, and that kind of headlines most of the main games. Newcastle and Chelsea was 2-2 as well. I don't know why I have Sunderland always in my head at the moment. But yeah, some awesome games this week. Wolves in trouble. And next week we turn to some Boxing Day or some late night 27th games it is a Boxing Day night actually, with United and Newcastle to start. Then Nottingham Forest and Man City after that. Then we have West Ham, Fulham, Brentford, Bournemouth, Liverpool, Wolves, Arsenal, Brighton, Burnley, Everton, Chelsea, Villa, Sunderland, Leeds, Crystal Palace, Tottenham. So I'll do a quick rapid fire predictions. I've got draw for United, Newcastle, only because Newcastle's away record still sucks. Nottingham Forest, City, I think City will win that one. West Ham, Fulham, draw. Brentford, Bournemouth, I'm going to go Brentford. I think Bournemouth haven't been in really good form as of late, and I think Brentford can get them. Liverpool, Wolves, I would dream for Wolves to win. Dream, but it's not going to happen. So Liverpool probably going to take that one out. Arsenal, Brighton, I'm going to go controversially a draw for this one. I think Arsenal will drop points here. I think Brighton are solid and are a good team, and I think they'll catch them. Burnley and Everton, I'm going to go a draw there. Leaning towards Everton to get the result, but I'm going to be safe on the draw. Chelsea and Aston Villa, I will go a draw too, to be safe. Leaning more towards Aston Villa to get a win, but I'm going to go draw. Sunderland, Leeds, I'll go Sunderland. And then Crystal Palace, Tottenham, I expect Crystal Palace to win that one there. Tottenham just a shit show at the moment, not performing well. And yeah, that's all I can say about them. But we also follow up with some New Year's Eve stuff, which we might break down next week if we do have the chance. But there will be a midweek games week as well for the Premier League, which is exciting. But yeah, again, Christmas, Premier League, NFL, cricket, basketball. It's just endless, and it's a great time to be alive as well. Just wanted to take a moment to thank you guys for tuning into another episode of the Huddle Within podcast. If you do enjoy episodes like this, or this episode specifically, be sure to leave a comment and a 5-star review wherever you do get your podcasts. It'd be also great if you could like and subscribe wherever you do get your podcasts, so we can continue to show this out to people that see sports exactly the way that you do. But without further ado, let's get straight back into it. In other news that I want to talk about, just a quick one because I've been seeing on the news a lot. Now, I do not follow the MLB at all. I have a team by default, and that's why I'm talking about this today. It's the White Sox. I support the White Sox. And for those that do know the MLB or don't, the White Sox are, I would say, the shittest American franchise ever, I think, right now. And the reason why that's normally the case is because unlike NFL and unlike NBA, there's an unlimited salary cap in baseball. And what that means is you normally see the top teams win, and while they're in that sort of competing stage, that's when they start signing big players. That's why you see the Dodgers. That's why you see the Yankees always competing and getting big players. And today, or the other day, is a different day because the Chicago White Sox, who have signed a player and a 2-time MVP home run record breaker in Japan, Look, I don't know nothing about this guy, but all I know is that from what I've seen with Shune, the Dodgers player, unbelievable, MVP, GOAT, up there with one of the best on a crazy lucrative contract. These Japanese baseballers are something else, and they're coming fast. And now the White Sox have met and signed Muntaka Murakami. Again, two-time MVP in the Japanese league. Know nothing about him, but all he did was sign a 5-year, $75 million contract. He secured the bag. It's the largest contract signed by a White Sox franchise ever. And this might change the tale in White Sox franchise history. And the reason why I'm talking about that is because, as I said, the White Sox have been shit for so long. And now they've come out and signed a massive free agent, which you never would have expected. So the White Sox are really trying to change their fortunes around. So maybe next year might be the year I actually start jumping on the baseball wagon and start watching this baller ball if he does. And if he does, we might see the White Sox not last in their conference anymore. Like, that would be pretty cool. That would change some things up. That would shake the league. They'll get out of the shadow of the Cubs, and it's an interesting watch. But look out for that, because the Japanese boy, Munetaka Murakami, has signed with the White Sox. And I've seen it everywhere. He's also, an MVP, elite. It's officially a 2-year, $34 million. The 5-year, $75 million contract, apologies, was from Anshu Benintendi, which was the largest. But this is like their current biggest one at the moment. So now it's 2 years. So one or two things can happen here now. He either changes the franchise and balls out, gets the White Sox to the playoffs for the first time in God knows when. I don't know, because I don't follow baseball like that. And he re-signs on a fat deal. Or the latter happens, and I think most likely this probably will happen now that it's 2 years. The White Sox suck. This guy carries the team, and then someone else just signs him to a fuck ton of money, and we lose this player. But again, it's big news coming out of the White Sox camp, and I'm excited to see how he goes. And hopefully we can sit there and say that he's changed the franchise. And then we've got to have a conversation to suggest, what are they feeding these baseball players in Japan? Because they're coming out and balling hard. And, Japan, national city, great pride, great traditions. In the World Cup for football, do pretty well in World Cups. Are starting to get a really good baseball reputation. And they love baseball. For those that don't know Japanese culture, baseball's massive there. But just having more players in the MLB has opened the door for some potential tides changing there, because you've got Shinji Otani, you've got some few other Japanese people that I don't know. Like I said, not a big baseball guy. But now signing this guy could change the White Sox forever, or could just get himself a bigger bag. We'll have to wait and see. But again, it's been your boy Daniel. A nice quick episode of the Huddle Within, a Christmas special for you guys. Thank you very much for tuning in, as you always do. If you do like the episode, once again, feel free to subscribe wherever you do get your podcast. Leave a 5-star rated review wherever you do get them. It means a lot to me. Really keen to celebrate Christmas and get on all these sports. And we'll review back next week, and we'll sort of recap 2025 and go into 2026. And we've almost hit a year of the Huddle Within, which is crazy. I feel like times fly. Episode 46 now, I believe. We're very close to that 50, and I really want to do something special for episode 50. Again, if you have any suggestions on what I should do for episode 50, please let me know, because my door is open and I think it's deserving of something special. 50 episodes. To do something cool, wouldn't we? It'd be awesome. But yeah, it's been your boy Daniel. You listened to another episode of the Huddle Within podcast. Thank you very much for tuning in, and I'll catch you guys next week. Cheers. So that's a wrap for this week's episode of the Huddle Within podcast. I appreciate you for tuning in and being part of this community where we go beyond the game and into what really matters. If this episode resonated with you, make sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who sees sports just the way that we do. And hey, I'd love to hear from you. Connect with me on my social medias, which will be linked below. Send in your thoughts and even be part of a future episode. Until next time, keep that passion alive, stay in the huddle, and remember, it's always deeper than the game. Cheers.